Hello and welcome to Rama Foods Cookery Club. So today I just want to share one recipe with you which will be featuring in my next month's menu for my food delivery, which is lamb vindaloo. So when we talk about lamb vindaloo, it always comes to everybody's mind that lamb vindaloo is made with kind of potatoes and lamb, and it's very spicy, very hot. But I just want to correct it here that lamb vindaloo has nothing to do with potatoes. So actually, Vindaloo is a Portuguese term. So when Goa was a Portuguese colony, so Portuguese people, they brought chilies with them. They introduced chilies to Goa, and they introduced ingredients like vinegar into Goa as well. And which are the key ingredients here? So Vindaloo basically means vin, which is vinegar, and alu means basically garlic in Portuguese language. So that's how it is, like Vindaloo. But alu also means in Hindi potatoes. So that's why, like the restaurants here, which has been going on for so long, they started putting potatoes, and it kind of works. So I like the addition of potatoes into my lamb. So that's why I'm going to be using that as well. But just to give you a bit of information about the authenticity of the name, the cuisine, the dish, lamb vindaloo has nothing to do with potatoes. It is like vinegar and garlic and hot uh, kind of a dish basically. Okay, so just to start with the ingredients first, I am using lamb. I have used leg of lamb, so this is like small diced pieces of lamb, which is about, I've taken about 1 kg. So you can always halve the recipe if you want. If you want to use 500 grams of lamb, you can use 500 grams. But I'm taking 1 kg of lamb. I've got some onions chopped. So I've used red onions, but you're more than welcome to use brown onions as well. So they are about 500 grams of diced onions. I'm taking few of baby potatoes. As I said, I still want to add the potatoes. I like the idea of potatoes into the lamb, so I'm gonna using, but nothing to do with the vindaloo as such. Then I have got like a 3 centimeter big ginger bulb and about 6 to 8 garlic bulbs. In terms of whole spices, I've got some cinnamon, like a small pieces, 2 small pieces of cinnamon, and some peppercorns. So maybe around 8 to 10 peppercorns. I've got 1.5 teaspoon of cumin seeds, and I've also got some red chilies soaked in water. So about 10 red chilies soaked in water. So what we need to do first is we need to make the paste of the red chilies and all the whole spices and ginger and garlic. So I've got this jar here. So I'm just adding these red chilies in here. I have basically soaked them in water, so which makes it easier to make a paste. So I'm using about 10 red chilies. If they are Kashmiri red chilies, much more better, but otherwise normal red chilies should be fine as well. I'm just breaking the cinnamon into small pieces and adding that as well. Just small 2 pieces of that. Then I'm adding some peppercorns. Then I'm adding about 1.5 teaspoon of cumin seeds, whole cumin seeds. Next, I'm adding some garlic bulbs, about 8 garlic bulbs. Then I'm adding this ginger, but I'll chop it into small pieces to make it a bit easier on the blender. Okay, so here goes that. I'm going to add some malt vinegar. As I said, lamb vindaloo is more of a Portuguese dish, and vin means vinegar. So I'm using malt vinegar here. So about 2, 3. So about 3 tablespoons of malt vinegar I've added. I'm also going to add about 2 tablespoons of oil. Okay, so now what we need to do is make a paste of it. Okay, so the paste is ready now. So you see how the consistency is quite a smooth paste. So nice and smooth paste like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add like 2 tablespoons of the paste into the lamb and just mix it nicely, just to like a kind of marinate, and leave that for about 15 minutes or so. So just massage it nicely. So as you can see that this paste has got vinegar, so which also acts as a tenderizer to the meat. So it will be easier to and quicker to cook the meat, and the meat will be more moist and soft when cooked properly. Okay, so yeah, so that will be on the side for about 15 minutes or so. And next we can start is heating the pan. So we're going to start cooking. So let's start heating the pan. Right, the pan is hot now, so I'm going to add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil. So I'm just using normal veg oil. Yeah, so about 3 to 4 tablespoons of veg oil. Let the oil heat up a little bit more, and then I'm going to add my onions to it. So I've got my chopped diced onions, about 500 grams for 1 kg of meat. So I'm going to add them now. You have to cook the onions nicely so they are nice and dark brown. So our onions are cooking now, so they will take around 5 to 10 minutes roughly in a gentle heat. So you don't have to burn them, so they will have to be cooked in the medium heat. So about 5 to 10 minutes will start to caramelize and start getting that color. Till then I can cut my potatoes into half so that they get cooked, or maybe even quarters. So just cut them into small pieces basically, so like a half or quarters if they are too big. And I kind of like the addition of potatoes, so they just give some kind of wholesomeness to the dish as well. And when you add potatoes to dish, kids just love it basically. So I'm just going to add like a half a teaspoon of salt, just to draw the moisture out and make sure the onions get softer quickly. So now it's about like 10 to 12 minutes. So I think the onions are nicely browned now. So what the next step is? Next step is to add the paste that we have made of the chili and the ginger and garlic and cumin and some whole spices. So we're going to add that paste, just nicely saute it, and then we'll add the marinated meat. So I'm going to add all of that paste now. I'm just going to rinse it with some water so that I can So I'm just rinsing it with the water so that I can get everything out. Yeah. Now just gently cook it. So at this stage, I'm also going to add about 2 tablespoons of coriander powder, and about 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder. So which hasn't got that much heat, is basically for the color. You have to make sure that your spices are nicely fried and they're not burned. So just keep scraping them. Once you fry the spices, only then the flavors and the aromas of the spices are released into the oil. Okay, so I've been frying it for like a good couple of minutes. So next step is to add my marinated lamb meat. Now we'll increase the heat a little bit and just stir fry the meat, so just to seal it off. So I haven't added any water yet. So that's the key. You need to stir fry the meat, seal the meat first. Let the spices and all that marinate, coat the meat nicely. And then later on we'll add a little bit of water and let it cook till the meat is soft and tender. So as you can see, the spices are getting stuck to the pan. So I'm just trying to scrape them off. And also I'm just going to add a splash of water. So not too much, just to release all the spices which are sticking to the pan. So I keep cooking the meat like this, like stir frying it, adding a touch of water, frying it, add a touch of water but not too much, for good 5 to 10 minutes. At this stage, I'm also adding some potatoes which I've cut into quarters. I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt. And about 1 teaspoon of Jaggery or brown sugar, whichever you have. Like a half a cup of water. Just mix all nicely. Add another half a cup of water. Now we need to bring it to boil and then turn the heat down to low to medium and let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so, or till the meat is about tender. So it's simmering nicely. I'm going to put the lid on and leave it for good 15 to 20 minutes, but make sure you keep stirring in between so that it's not catching up. If it's catching up, the water is evaporating, just add a tiny bit more water and keep cooking for a good 20 minutes. Right, so now it has been about like 25 minutes. The lamb has been simmering. As you can see, the lamb has been cooked perfectly. You can see the nice color and the nice sheen of slightly is coming on the top, so which is good. So just the finishing touches now. So I'm adding my homemade garam masala, about like a half a teaspoon, just to finish it off for the fresher flavors. You need to add the garam masala in the very last. Similarly, the fresh coriander, so like a handful of fresh coriander going as well. So now I'm finishing it off with some tamarind paste, so like 1 tablespoon of tamarind paste. So you must have realized that this dish had no tomatoes, no yogurt, so that's why the vinegar and the tamarind, they work as a souring agent for this. So it's a bit different from the normal North Indian curries or other Indian curries that you see. So Vindaloo is like a lot of Portuguese influence, a lot of vinegar, a lot of chillies, a lot of garlic. Yeah. So it's almost done, and now is the time for plating up. So now our lamb vindaloo is ready. It's time to serve now. So as I said earlier, I've left the potatoes in the dish, although nothing to do with the dish, but I just love the potatoes in the lamb dish. It just helps to cool down the heat as well. Small bit of coriander, and here you go, lamb vindaloo with some boiled rice. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you later. Bye bye.